Do you need a hug based off of what we saw last night with your team, Tony? What do we got?
I don't think a hug is going to do it. I think more like a shrink's couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your 2 cents on what you're seeing? At least, there has been some signs of significant life, right? I mean, we've seen...
It's confounding because, there's the team that goes and beats the Lions, who are having a great year. And then last week, the Chiefs didn't seem to have a problem with that. And then fall to the Giants. It's one of those any given Sunday kind of situations.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, you were, if I'm not mistaken, were at the game in Lambeau against the Chiefs, correct?
Oh yeah, I was there. It was because we were promoting the Monk movie.
Yep.
It was NBC does Sunday Night Football, so and we stream on Peacock. So I was on a kind of a press thing, and it was great. I got to go down on the field. Get kind of close to the players as they were warming up. It was really fun. I mean, I've been to Lambeau a million times, but being on the field and on the Jumbotron was really thrilling.
It's a great way to, good thing Mr. Monk's Last Case, a Monk movie, is on Peacock, right? And so it was a quick yes when they're like, hey, do you want to go back home to Green Bay to promote the show, right? Quick yes.
Didn't have to think about it.
Exactly. Right. Did you run into Taylor Swift, Tony?
I didn't. I heard she was there. I know she was there in a different box. I really, it's too bad that I didn't really get to run into her because I know what a huge Monk fan she is, and I just felt bad for her.
By the way, she may be. Tony,
I don't know. I've never heard that. I just made it up.
I don't know. Karma could be Monk or something like that. I don't know. I mean, but you never know, by the way, because it's such a popular show. So you are a Green Bay native, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how far from Lambeau did you grow up, Tony?
Well, it's not a big town. Everything is 10 minutes from everything.
Right.
But when I was growing up, population was about 65,000. Probably now it's, 100, a little over 100 maybe. But I was on the east side. I grew up on the east side. Lambeau is on the west side of town. And but now when I go back, I have a couple of sisters that live very, very close to the stadium, walking distance, really. So we're in that neighborhood when we go back.
So which is your most memorable visit to Lambeau? What do you got for me?
Oh, so many great games. So many cold, really cold games.
Right.
When we were younger, we didn't have the same kind of gear that they have now. You put on layers and lots of wool, and if it was snowing or raining, you were just out of luck because there's just no remedy for that. But now there's Gore-Tex and Thinsulate and warmers and battery operated this and that, socks and vests, and it's a lot better now. But I just remember some ass-freezing games, just really, really bad.
Here I was looking for a good Favre story. Here I'm looking for a good Favre story, maybe even a story from the Lombardi era or something like that. And here we are talking about your ass freezing. This is amazing, Tony. This is fantastic.
Okay, the best moment, yes, I have to say, was at a game when I was a kid. This was during the Lombardi years.
Okay.
And we had relatives in Detroit who were huge, Lions fans, of course, and they would sometimes come to our games, right? And we would go to their games, and it was a big rivalry in the family. And there was a game we were playing against Detroit, and the game was basically over. Packers were down by 4 or 5 points, and it was the last few, maybe the last minute of the game. Mm-hmm. And Detroit had the ball on their own, 20-yard line. And all they needed to really do was run out the clock. And I'll never forget this because it drove my uncle from Detroit crazy. The quarterback drops back, throws a pass, in their own territory. Herb Adderley, who was a real favorite of Maisel, cornerback, number 26 in those days, intercepts the ball and runs it in. It was a pick six, and the Packers win the game by a couple of points. There's just there was no rhyme or reason for them to call this play high risk, play in this. So, and it was, I know my dad would just delight in whenever we beat the Lions. So that I hold that memory dear.
Well, if that happened today, shows like this one, we would be roasting the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, right? And we'd have callers calling in, and we'd be talking about disgraces and things like that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.